talking college sports in the Deep South where college football is king. We want to think that SEC conference is one of the better conferences in college football. The SEC West, arguably one of the more competitive because of the fierce rivalries, and it makes for a fun time because the fan bases absolutely hate one another when they play against one another. East Alabama, where Auburn University rests, they call that place the loveliest village on the plains, and the battle cry is War Eagle. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. We're talking Auburn football, probably nonstop War Eagle. We talk about the two presumed cupcake games coming into this season. We're talking Tulane and Kent State. The one thing about these particular games, in my opinion, is that, sometimes teams just don't take advantage of the opportunity to really shore things up. A lot of times they play with a lack of intensity. They don't execute very well. They score a lot of points on plays that probably won't be executed against, real deal Power 5 teams. And that's where Auburn comes to play in these particular types of games. Auburn, most teams in the SEC already have what you would consider a brutal schedule. At times, these teams catch themselves napping and struggling with teams that they need to go ahead and take care of. Now, one thing I look for in a quote-unquote cupcake game is levels of execution. Somehow, Auburn finds themselves struggling to execute in these types of games for whatever reason. A lot of it is lack of focus. A lot of it is, just pretty much thinking that your physical dominance and your talent is going to, override the fact that you're actually playing against another team. Because we've seen it before. Georgia Southern defeated Florida. Appalachian State defeated Michigan. These upsets happen all the time. As a matter of fact, Auburn was literally seconds away from losing what probably would have been the most embarrassing loss in program history back in 2015 to Jacksonville State. So when we go into the 2019 season, Auburn will already have played what will probably be a very difficult football game against Oregon, having two basic tune-up games before heading into SEC play. It's going to be very important that Auburn executes on a high level in these two games. Definitely a great opportunity to shore up the quarterback position. You're talking Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix, the front runners for quarterback. So it's going to really be key for Auburn to take advantage of these two particular games, because they could go a long way in spelling out how this season goes. Because, like I said, in-game experience, being able to shore up a lot of execution, being able to shore up a lot of, trying some different things as far as defensive packages go. So it's going to be very important, not necessarily for Auburn to blow these teams out. That's not what you look for, in my opinion, in a cupcake game. What you look for is high levels of execution. Are the scores that you're making, are they high percentage? Is it something that would have worked, say, against Georgia or Alabama? You want to have high levels of execution in these particular games. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comment section. We talk about Auburn like nobody else will. These are, people talk about the cupcake games all the time, but these games are on the schedule, and they do play a part in how the season unfolds. Like I said before, the execution piece of these games are oftentimes overlooked. Anytime you hit the football field, it's an opportunity to shore up some items going into conference play, because then when you go live in the SEC, you really just don't have time to figure it out. So you have these two, what people like to call cupcake games, to where you can figure some things about yourselves out and have some victories, have some great plays. Also give the fan base, kind of a casual Saturday before SEC play starts, and, take advantage of the opportunity to improve on areas where you may be kind of shaky going into SEC play. Once again, it's Casey the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. Let's get this comment section active. Go ahead and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. And until next time, War Eagle.